All right, in this video, I want to show you the real truth about AI for your front desk, what it's good for, what it's terrible at, and when it could actually be costing your practice rather than saving you. And more specifically in this video, the three things I want to cover are number one, what's AI actually good at for your front desk? What are practices in 2025 and 2026 using AI for? I also want to talk about where AI breaks and kind of silently kills your conversions. Number three, I want to talk about what the smartest clinic owners are doing instead to actually scale their practice without burning through potential leads. And we do this exact analysis with clinic owners every single day of whether you use AI, how to use it, do you go for an in-house admin, a virtual admin, and more importantly, it's helped over 250 clinic owners stop bleeding revenue because of missed calls and missed opportunities with leads they do have coming in. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly whether AI is right for your practice, and if not, what else might be a better solution for you. So let's get into this. So, number one, what is AI actually good at? I think that there are a ton of great jumps that AI has made, and there's a ton of really great use cases for AI right now here in 2025 and 2026. So let's start with like, what does it actually shine with? What is it good for? I think the things that AI is really good for is being able to answer frequently asked questions. Hey, what are your hours? Do you guys treat this? Do you do dry needling? Like AI is absolutely perfect for that. It's going to be able to, somebody's going to be able to call into your clinic and they're going to be able to ask these questions. And that's going to potentially give you an opportunity to get someone actually scheduled. Now, I think the other place that AI is really going to help a lot of these like small to mid-size uh, cash and hybrid practices are being able to prevent missed calls and prevent people from dropping off after hours. And so, what do I mean by missed calls? Hey, maybe you guys have a part-time admin right now, or maybe you're busy treating patients because you are the admin and you have a phone call coming in. And this is where I think AI can be super helpful because it can pick the phone up, and then at that point, it can at least guide somebody to scheduling a discovery call. And I think that that's awesome, right? Because now this person isn't going to be just calling down the road. They've got a physical scheduled time to speak to somebody, to either you or somebody on your team about getting scheduled. Or maybe your team is like wrapping up a call and then you're able to actually jump right into that, which is even better. Or I also see this being a use case for after hours scheduling. So somebody opts in on the weekend or they opt in after hours, like all of these kind of itty bitty pieces it can be really, really helpful because, come Monday morning, maybe they've already found somebody else, or you're busy because you've got patients all day. And so we need to actually be able to get to these people quickly. And this is where AI can either with an automated text message, an AI text message or chat bot that opens up, or being able to actually jump on a phone call and now set that person for a discovery call. What you've noticed me not say, and I'll cover this more in depth in a second, is like I'm not saying that I think that AI can fully take the phone call. I think that they can get somebody on the phone and actually schedule a discovery call where they've got one calendar that they're pulling from, and now I've got a scheduled call, and now that makes life a lot easier. And that can be done via an outbound dial. I think the AI voice callers are really good at that. Or also potentially a text exchange, which is becoming more and more common in 2026 as we are communicating with patients. Now, the other thing you can do is, just kind of general customer experience type stuff, which is like rescheduling appointments and appointment confirmations. So somebody texts in, "Hey, what time is my appointment? Oh, your appointment is at 3 p.m. tomorrow." Or somebody, hey, I need to reschedule my appointment. And now an AI agent really quickly is able to jump on that conversation and get someone rescheduled. Now, I have seen some instances where I think these AI agents go a little rogue. And so you got to make sure that this thing is trained and you've actually put some guardrails in place and it isn't going to interact kind of crazily with your other like automations that you have or conversations that you have going with the patient as well. Now, Lastly, I think it's also really good at filtering through spam. A lot of you guys get spam calls, and it's like, I got 4 or 5 people I got to call back at the end of the day, and it will help you be able to quickly weed through some of that information. Or people that are just trying to sell you something, right? Because now your AI agent is going to essentially act as a gatekeeper and prevent you from actually having to like field this call, or maybe you called somebody back and now you have this awkward encounter where they're trying to sell you something that you're not actually interested in. It's like, the Yelp people or, the local magazine that's trying to get you to be listed in it. All of these things are super problematic and not something that you want to be happening. So this is what I think AI is good at. I think it is really good at doing some very basic scheduling for a discovery call. I don't think it's great at actually putting people on the calendar. Unless you are a very heavy insurance-based clinic and there's no like connection that needs to go on, I think AI agents make a lot of sense. But if you're a cash or hybrid practice and there needs to be some nuance and back and forth with people, I just don't think it's there yet. And so some of this after hours, frequently asked questions, maybe moving some people around on a very basic schedule, I think that that can make a lot of sense. But if you've got multiple providers and you're in home versus you've got home visits versus in the office, it's like all of this stuff can be really, really confusing, and that's not what you want to have happen. And so most cash practices really don't lose money because they can't book appointments, right? Like you've got leads, you just got to give them a dial, right? But more specifically, you guys are typically losing revenue because you can't have trust-based conversations with patients and actually get them to want to convert. And I just don't think AI is good enough at doing that, right? I don't think it is good enough at having these trust-based conversations. And so now I want to cover exactly where I think AI just completely breaks down. And I just don't think it's there yet. As much as I want it to be there, I just don't think it's there completely right now for you to be able to say, hey, I'm going to just completely not have a front desk. So AI is basically just like another employee, albeit it's going to show up 365 days, 7 days a week, and it's not going to ask any single major questions of you. However, it's like an employee in that what you teach it is ultimately how it's going to perform. And if you don't have the skills, we'll start this way. If you don't have the basic information to be able to teach an in-person admin, or certainly not an AI agent, like if you don't have scripts and phrasings and objection handling frameworks and ways to get people to say yes and ways to be able to react to certain situations, like if you don't have the systems for that, and being able to give that to an actual employee, be it in person or be it AI, that AI isn't going to perform. It's basically going to do whatever it is that you tell it and whatever it is that you teach it. And so you can't just like magically turn it on and hope that it's going to actually perform for you. And so if you don't have the scripts and the resources and the like what to say in various situations or like how to actually get people to say yes who are bent on using their insurance, you're going to have a hard time with an AI agent because they're going to do exactly what it is that you taught any other person. Now, the other big thing from there is you have to give it resources, but then also you have to continually give it feedback and coach it on this stuff as well, right? You can't just like hand it some scripts, you can't just hand it some resources and expect it to be there. Like you have to actually be able to, talk to it and you actually have to be able to give it feedback. And so if you're not skilled at doing that, you're going to have a hard time even with AI or in person. And so the things that I don't think that it's really good at is I don't think it's really good at doing a full deep dive discovery for cash and hybrid physical therapy or chiropractic or functional medicine practices. Like I just don't think it's there yet. It doesn't have the ability to ask deep enough questions to get someone to realize, hey, I actually do need to book right now. It doesn't really have the ability to like go off of the script. It's like it will just systematically follow through these questions that you have on a script that you feed it, and it's just not dynamic enough. And also, there's a little bit of a delay between what's being said to the point that people really know that it's AI. And that's what can be really tough with these situations is because people now are very hesitant to want to open up to the AI. And think about for you, for example, like if you're talking to an automated system and you just like really need to get through to a representative, like you can actually become pretty frustrated, right? Because you just simply keep pushing through and you're just like, I'm pressing zero. Why am I not getting through to anybody? And now you've just become frustrated and you've potentially alienated a lost person or a potential lead that you had in your practice. And I just don't think it's good enough at doing that yet. And this is where I think you also need to have somebody that you can transfer the phone call to. Because if they're frustrated with your AI agent and now it's going to be 2 hours before you can get back to them, you've probably lost them as a potential patient. And so AI isn't really good at getting off script and being able to ask more natural questions. And it certainly doesn't have the ability to be able to like complex objection handle, right? Being able to, you know, diagnose why someone actually isn't wanting to book. Because when somebody says, hey, it's too expensive, I need to use my insurance, really that just means they don't trust you. And AI isn't good enough yet to be able to distinguish that and figure that out. And so ultimately, that's a big limitation of it. And likewise, many of the cash practices that I work with, and I know this is the case for my practice as well, is hey, we have a very niche population that we like to work with. Runners, CrossFitters, folks who are very active. And if somebody isn't a good fit, AI isn't good enough at weeding those people out. And so now what you're going to end up with is you're going to get more people on your schedule. Maybe they're scheduled for initial evaluations, but they're not ultimately going to end up wanting to book a plan of care with you. Either A, because they weren't a good fit, or B, they weren't warmed up enough for your services. And I think that that's exactly what we're going to see because so many people are flocking to try to get these AI agents in their practice right now. But because they say I have got leads sitting around, I can't get to them. They called in, they opted in after hours. So I'm going to put an agent on them. They're going to call them and they're going to get them scheduled. And so what happens is now you end up with more people on your schedule, but now you're getting more cancels, you're getting more no-shows, you're getting more people who aren't really good fits. And ultimately they haven't been warmed up to enough to want to work with you. And so now ultimately people are going to want to show up for that one session, get some free exercises or free advice, and now not purchase a plan of care, which is a big problem for a lot of our practices, right? And so this is where I think AI kind of completely breaks down. So what is it that people are doing, right? Like how are people leveraging AI? And you see all these ads for AI agents and everything else, and it's just the hot topic right now. So what are the high performing clinics doing instead? And so the top performing cash practices are not really choosing between AI or using humans. They're actually stacking both. They're finding a good solid blend of how do I get AI to help leverage speed and customer experience and filtering through nonsense, but then also having a human to be able to carefully have well-intentioned conversations with people. And so this is where I think AI chatbots for after hours like inquiries where somebody says, "Hey, do you guys do dry needling?" and being able to pick that conversation up after hours to get this person excited to want to book a call. And maybe they drop your calendar link and ultimately they schedule a real discovery call with your team. Or, somebody opted in after hours, they didn't respond to a text message. And so then the AI agent gives them a call and tries to book them for a discovery call with you guys sometime into the next day. And so now your front desk can just show up and follow up with the warmest leads. Because if they're not answering within 3 minutes when they opted in at 7 or 8 p.m., then hey, this person might be pretty hard to get a hold of anyways, right? And so from there, now your front desk can actually follow up with the warmest people, and we're ready to have really good, solid conversations. And I think also it can be very helpful to just get some call volume in where, hey, it makes calls for you and people that are lost or they've fallen off a plan of care or, they've opted into your ad and it's been a week and you haven't heard from them. Some of those additional touch points can really help shore up your manpower at that point. And it can also just help your brand and your likability and your customer experience. Being able to send somebody reminders day before appointments, being able to like send them a text message with your address or a video of how to find your clinic, or maybe it automatically sends a welcome video right before, right? Like some of that's just like basic automation stuff, but being able to have some of that to be able to pick up your customer experience and really elevate that piece, I think that's the greater use for it. Not what you guys think it's used for, which is, hey, AI agents are here. I'll never have to hire another front desk. And the reality is I just don't think it's there yet, especially if you're a cash and hybrid practice owner. And so this is what I see the most successful cash practice owners doing right now. Now that you understand where AI fits and where it certainly does not and how you don't want to be using it, the next thing you need is really you have to have a reliable front desk person to be able to convert these inquiries for you. Let AI hand them off to somebody to be able to actually do that. And so we actually have a team of fully trained virtual assistants that we can plug into your business so that they can take these phone calls, they can convert them for you, and ultimately get more people saying yes to wanting to work with you. And so, if that sounds at all interesting to you, you can actually book a call with me. I will drop a link in the bio. We can jump on a call. We can break down your front desk. We can see where AI maybe makes sense, but also where we could get somebody who actually is trained to be able to handle this. Hope you have a great one. We'll see you soon.